I am MAPS coach Alicia Shepard, and I'm so excited to share with you a little bit of information around a program that I run, teach, and live called 7 Figures in 90 Days. Now, when people hear this title, they kind of get wrapped up in the idea of 7 figures. 7 figures of what? 7 figures of under contract, 7 figures of sales, 7 figures in volume. And I want to start with just a really clear boil down of what the program is, why we created it, and how it changes the lives of the agents who engage in it. 7 Figures in 90 Days is a gamified approach to help an agent put $1 million or more of signed representation agreements of GCI into their pipeline in a 12-week sprint. That means across the course of 12 weeks, the agents who engage in this program sign listing agreements, buyer rep agreements, tenant representation agreements, sometimes even business brokerage agreements to get them to a total value of $1 million of gross commission that has entered their pipeline and is in their ownership over this 12-week period. Some agents are so successful with it, they come back multiple times, and I even have veterans that are now using this 12-week sprint to put $1 million of GCI under contract each quarter in their business. Now, why did I create a program like this, and why am I the one to teach it? Ultimately, when I looked up as a practicing commercial real estate agent, I realized that the biggest struggle agents face is extreme clarity and extreme accountability in how to build a powerful and a profitable pipeline, while also making sure that they have someone to show up with every single day to help them do the hard part of this job. I watched countless agents in commercial real estate, residential real estate, land brokerage fall out of the industry. People that were really talented, that had great pure hearts of service for those clients that they helped. I watched them fall out of the industry because a recipe for successful lead generation and lead conversion just was never presented to them in a fashion and format that helped them become massively successful and massively passionate and active in the income that they're bringing into their business. Once I saw that problem, I knew we had to create a solution. We had to create a path where an agent could look up and say, I'm given a plan, I know how to run it, and I'm really clear on how to win this game. See, I developed it in my own business when I started wanting to become a parent, when I started getting pregnant and knew that there would be seasons of life that required my activity in my business to slow down. Yet the internal competitive lion inside of me said, like hell, am I also going to slow down my income and my earnings? I was a 7-figure producer, and I wasn't really comfortable with the idea that by taking a quarter off in my business to really celebrate an important moment in my life, that meant I also had to take a quarter off of earning. So I needed to juice up the time that I was in my business, the time when I wasn't pregnant, the time when I wasn't on maternity leave and getting used to a new family member. And that meant that I needed to move so that in every quarter of my business, I could create $1 million inside GCI. I successfully did this for multiple years and have taught dozens of agents that have worked underneath me how to do this same pattern in their own businesses. Now through 7 and 90, I've had the opportunity to show more than 100 agents this exact recipe for success. And with an 82% success ratio, we watch agents get to a dollar productive business with fierce earning potential in just 12 short weeks. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what this program is. We'll talk about the short-term and long-term impact this creates in your business. And at the end, we'll open up for questions so that as you decide if 7 figures in 90 days is the game you're ready to play, you know exactly what saying yes means and exactly how to get prepared. When you sign up for 7 figures in 90 days, you'll sign up through MAPS Coaching. MAPS Coaching is the company through which we run this program, and it's a 3-month offering. When you sign up, you'll be handed off to our team, and we're going to give you both the tools and the calendar invites that you need to succeed. In the toolkit, you're going to find a tracker for your habits in your pipeline. This will be where we, as a coaching group, every single day, connect with how'd you do, what was the goal, did we hit it, and what did we add to the pipeline? That daily conversation on its own is where probably 50% of the success in this course comes from, because it's going to have you not only look at what we added to the pipeline, not only how much volume, how much GCI, what the actual momentum and the conversion probability is of these clients. I'm going to give you the recipe of how much you need to load that up with every single day and how to tactically go find it. The other piece that we look at in this very valuable tracker is the habits you're leaning into in your business. We'll track how many conversations are you having per day. We even go down to the gritty part of how many dials are you making. Now, what we're looking for as we're looking at the habits is how to make small changes, micro adjustments in the activities you're showing up and doing every day that could cost monumental amounts of success. We've had agents in this program that say, Alicia, I don't need the tracker. I'm old school. I don't do that. Or I have another software, I'm doing it. But when we boil it down to this really simple 4 conversation metric, agents are able to quickly look up and say, I know exactly where my gap is. See, some of you are not hitting 7 figures in a quarter like myself and agents that I work with are because your database isn't engineered to help you do it. You don't have the data that you need, or you're calling the wrong list. Your system and process for who you're deciding to call and when you decide to call is broken. By looking at how many dials per day you make, and we can track it week over week, we can close in, is the data that you have empowering you to be successful, or is it holding you back? Once we move out of dials, then we're able to see conversations. Most of us, myself included, before we track how many conversations we're having a day, kind of hallucinate and tell ourselves that we're having more business discussions than we think we are. I might look up and say, oh, I totally talk to 10 people a day. But when I look at this tracker and ask the critical question, did I have 10 conversations intentionally with the people I want to be in business with? And for me, that's a certain type of property owner who own a certain type of real estate in a certain location. Did I talk to 10 of those? Or am I having business discussions that just keep me busy, but not productive? And once we start tracking that, then agents can, boom, hit a super small adjustment in how they live their days to move from being a $250,000 a year producer, $500,000 a year producer, to 7 figures in 12 weeks. Once we get through those, now we're moving on to conversion. And conversion is where we have so much fun. We're going to tackle a lot of different curriculum inside 7 figures in 90 days. And most of it is aimed at making sure your conversion is intentional. So are you daily asking 2 people to hire you? Are you daily having that conversation of, John, other than agreeing on price and terms, what else do you need to know about me to decide to hire me today to represent you? And being able to do that fearlessly and powerfully and with confidence and belief that you know how to back that up. We're going to work on the skill sets, both internal and external. We're going to work on the sales conversations that you execute and the consistency with which you execute them so that your conversion becomes a powerhouse weapon in your business. I've coached enough agents and put enough agents through this program that I can tell you with true authenticity, most agents aren't asking to get hired enough. Most of us are asking maybe once or twice a week. Some agents I interview, they're only asking a couple times a month. It's very difficult to build a powerful, momentum-filled business if I don't have consistent business coming in the door. And so in this program, we're going to teach you how to consistently and persistently have that lead conversion conversation. So see, now through Habit Tracker, we're able to dial in, is your data right? Is your database serving you? Is it being a powerful machine in your business? Then we move on to how many conversations are you having a day? Are you pointed in the right area? Then we're going to lead into lead conversion. And this is going to be where we work on your sales skills, both soft and hard. And last is really making sure that we have business and professional standards. Are we actually signing representation agreements? Are we allowing the client to control the conversation and tell us, we're going to work with a pocket listing. I want to sell this off market. If you can bring me an offer, then I would consider it. And no offense, but that's a really unprofessional business. I want to empower you not only with the decision and the confidence to easily ask to get hired, we're going to empower you with the tools and help you build a representation agreement-based real estate business. Once we do that, the rest of this game becomes easy. Now we're going to follow your pipeline with you, and we're daily going to meet for 30 minutes in a group setting so that you have consistent and persistent accountability in a competitive environment so you show up ready to get the results you need. Now we've gone through the toolkit, the actual tracker. Inside your toolkit, you're also going to have the ability to have every single recorded session. Across this program, you and I, with a team of up to 9 other business owners in the real estate industry, will meet daily at the same time for 30 minutes. In that 30-minute window, we're going to go through our accountability check-in where we're looking at the numbers. I'll already have those reviewed. It's almost like a board meeting for what'd you say you were going to do and how'd you do it. Then we're going to move into a training. I'll go through in just a moment what that collection of training is going to look like. And lastly, we're going to open up for role play and real play, for the conversations you're entering where you're getting stuck and the negotiations where maybe you need a tactical approach that you haven't considered yet. We're going to make sure you stay in dollar productive momentum the entire way, every single session. Those sessions are recorded and given to you inside a recording folder so that when you complete this program, you have 60 recordings of tactical conversations that you can go back to again and again in your business, meaning you'll have an evergreen program that you can repeat forever to go back and retrain yourself on 7 figures in 90 days. Now, that program, those recordings are available for you to use for any future hires in your business, including staff and virtual assistants. So when you take the program, you as the rainmaker, John, may be on camera and unmute and inside the conversation with the team that you're leaning in with for this adventure with every day. Your team is able to join you as well. And you'll see we've got one of our colleagues here on the call is in what I call audit mode, off camera and on mute. When you sign up and say yes to 7 figures in 90 days, everybody that's a participant in your business gets to join this program with you. One designated rainmaker is on camera and participating in the conversation and the accountability with us on a daily basis. But let's say you have a team of 4 junior agents or 4 showing assistants, 4 buyer's agents. Maybe you have a full MREA model and you're running with a robust organization chart. Saying yes means your entire team gets to participate off camera and on mute. But that doesn't mean that they're off of accountability. If you have agents in your business and you want them using the same tracker that you are, you want them running for a certain benchmark or maybe even the million alongside you, we will build trackers for you to use with your team along this progress, and we'll help report that out. In that toolkit, you're also going to have a full workbook that will give you conversations, tools, and tactics that I'm going to teach you throughout the program. It's almost like a daily journal. I'm going to walk you all the way through that 7-figure and 90-day process across 12 weeks. It will also have cliff notes from books that I am including inside this curriculum. So you don't have to go buy all of these books and try to read them during these 12 weeks. They're all books I would deeply recommend, but I'm going to recommend 24 to 30 books throughout the process. Don't expect you to read them while we're getting your pipeline into massive productivity. So I'll give you my personal cliff notes and the pieces of those books that impacted the curriculum and the experience that you're saying yes to when you sign up for 7 figures in 90 days. Now, what we'll cover throughout the curriculum, over the 12 weeks, we're going to cover a series of conversations. That's a new way of saying scripts, a series of conversations and recipe models that I've used in my own business or that I've learned from masters of sales conversations, both inside and outside of real estate. And we're going to give you those tools to use in your business. That sales conversation is almost a daily practice throughout these 12 weeks. We see agents leaving with anywhere from 20 to 30 tactical conversations they are mastering or have mastered during these 12 weeks and are deploying to their clients and business for success. Additionally, we're going to walk through actual sales skills. I'm always astounded when I talk to real estate professionals, residential, commercial, land, even business brokers, and they look up and they're like, well, I'm a sales agent. And I say, okay, when's the last time you took a sales course? And they might take one through their brokerage. They might take one that's through a traditional real estate coaching company, but they're only taking those maybe once. And then they get into production and it's years later and they look up and they haven't really been sharpening their sales skills. Throughout 7 figures in 90 days, I actually bring in 3 very specific curriculums that are designed to help you look at traditional real estate sales conversations and tactics through a new lens where we're modernizing them with technology and tools like AI, which any agent who is using AI will be fine, but the agents who don't use and empower AI in their business aren't going to be here much longer. We're also going to go through sales curriculum that are from outside of real estate. I invite in Daniel Pink, who's an astounding author in the sales training space. He wrote this amazing book called To Sell is Human. And we walk through some curriculum and tactics that he's involved in and designed. And I help show you how those work inside your real estate business. Additionally, we go through other sales curriculums that we're pulling from online influencers, online sales businesses, and we're looking at both prospecting and marketing sales techniques so that you leave this with not only knowing or having ideas of what you want to build in your business, but we build the damn thing. We get actionable and we put them into place. In the very first session, we actually come swinging out the gate and have you build your sales funnel in week 1 of this course. Now you might look up and say, Alicia, I already have a sales funnel. And I say, that's great. Do you have a 7 rotating arm sales funnel or an 8 rotating arm sales funnel to turn on in your business that immediately can bring leads to you and have your ideal client knocking at your back door, ready, willing, and able to sign up to hire you? If not, this program is probably one you want to lean into. Additionally, after going through the sales conversation and sales trainings, we're going to look at our negotiation skill set. We look at negotiation capabilities from absolute titans of negotiation. I would be totally amiss if we didn't include Black Swan negotiations. Chris Voss, we're looking at some of his trainings. I give you some of the resources that are available through his curriculum. And we look at 4 other negotiation tactics and approaches that I teach you through this. And I actually show you and model for you how they work in a real estate conversion conversation. I teach you negotiation starts in that very first conversation you've had. The moment they pick up the phone and say hello, you are in negotiation territory. But many of us wait until we're at the table actually starting to write an offer to turn on the thought of, okay, it's time to negotiate. We're negotiating for our stance in the relationship. We're negotiating for control of the process, of the mindset, of the way we do business from that very first phone call. And through sharpening these skills around negotiation during 7 figures in 90 days, you're going to realize that you're probably leaving deals on the table. You're leaving clients abandoned from the opportunity of hiring you to represent them because we waited too long to believe that we were in a negotiation. Next, we're going to pivot and focus on emotional intelligence. Now, my commercial agents that are watching this, don't worry, I'm not going to get too emotional and woo-woo on you, but I am going to ask that you lean in and understand that any client we're working with, anytime we're getting hired, anytime that we are asking someone to move to the next step with us, our emotional intelligence and skill sets that come to the table are vital, not only for how we work with others, but for how we move ourselves into more intentional conversations. We're going to look at emotional intelligence, both from our own ownership of how we are showing up, how we are using our internal emotional IQ to be able to get through the finish line with more consistency. We're going to look at the other side of it and say, how do we understand where our clients are coming from so that we can move them forward into the next step when that's in their best interest. We're going to make sure that emotional intelligence is used as a tool in our toolkit and not as a manipulative factor, because the minute it moves into manipulation, clients are going to feel like we're standing on the corner of a used car sales lot in a cheap brown suit. And that's not my understanding of it. That's actually consumer-based evidence. They've done studies. When we get too manipulative, or when people come in with a sales approach that's very self-serving, they immediately think of used car salesman in a cheap brown suit. We'll learn more about that as we study Daniel Pink together and put into action his amazing techniques. What I want to make sure you understand is that in the emotional intelligence we're going to work on in this course, you're understanding how to help a client get extreme clarity on their goal. Because just like us, when we're more clear on what we want out of something, when we've gone 7 layers deep on why the hell would I do this, the more we help our clients go those 7 levels too, the faster and with more ease, they will move toward the next step with you. So now we've got you through a full curriculum of sales conversation, a full curriculum of sales training, full curriculum of negotiation tactics, and we wouldn't be finished if we didn't do a full curriculum of emotional intelligence. We're going to bundle those into that daily routine of we get in the call 30 minutes a day. Coach Alicia is going to show up. We're going to have an accountability and actionable moment. What did we say we were going to do, and did we do it? We're going to make sure that we go through a training, and then we're going to actually get into implementation mode quickly with the trainings. The worst thing I watch agents do is we go sit in classes or courses or seminars. I just came back from a convention. We have notebooks full of information, but we don't ever get into action. And so 7 and 90 is actually designed to put you into action the moment you walk out of the course, not at the end of the course, but day for day, every single day getting off the course. You're going to know in the next 30 minutes what the expected action you have is to keep yourself, your business, and your profit on track for a 7-figure quarter. Now, at the end of all of this, we're empowering you to have a business that can consistently and persistently bring to the table a 7-figure pipeline. I've had agents get as high as 4 million in signed GCI in these 12 weeks. And I always challenge the next group coming in, who's going to beat the max, who's going to get the farthest. But it wouldn't be worth doing if we were going to build massive pipelines and not ensure that we internally had built our skill set, our confidence, our capabilities, and our tools to move that 7-figure listing bucket, agreement bucket, signed representation into under contract. So in the back half of 7 Figures in 90 Days, we actually start the conversation. What does your listing presentation look like? How are you marketing the properties or the people, the clients that you list and you win assignments with? How are you putting a competitive, disruptive foot forward to ensure that your competition could never beat you? My goal is that in 7 Figures in 90 days, I help you get to the peak of your market and block out your competition, which means everything we do must be actionable. Everything we do needs to put in your hands as quickly as possible the tools, the resources, and knowledge that you need to be actionable on the 7 Figures in your pipeline. So during the program, if I reference a listing presentation I have, if I reference a standard, a tool, a process that I've used in my own business to build a multiple 7 Figure business in commercial real estate, but that works in a residential or land business or business brokerage as well, if I reference something I've built, I'm just going to give it to you. We're not going to hold things back. We're going to make sure that you have the exact tools that you need. Now, what we've learned through running this program 8 times now is that sometimes conversations come up that might be really specific to your business or that might be a little vulnerable to share in a group setting. So in this course, you also get 2 15-minute one-on-one coaching calls with me. You're able to use those as 1 30-minute call if you'd like. You're also able to invite them in to have your whole team be on the call if you like that, if you're a rainmaker and you've got multiple people in your business. Many times I find that as we're growing an agent's business robustly, disruptively, and fast, they find some cracks. The systems, models, processes, tools, and sometimes the team start to feel some cracks in the veneer. And these calls are designed so you can say, hey, coach, I got something that I'm feeling that crack show up. I need a spot coaching through it so I can be actionable on it right now. Those calls are also recorded with your permission and did solely to you for you to use for your own future review or to share with your team if that makes sense. Throughout this program, we ask that you show up vulnerable. We ask that you show up competitive. I am looking for someone feisty that is damn determined they're going to hit that 7-figure bell when they get in it. And we want to make sure that when you say yes to 7 Figures in 90 days, that you're empowering not only your business, but yourself to have a life-changing experience. When you play all into this course, I give you a guarantee. If by the end of the 12 weeks, you have not hit the 7-figure mark, but you have shown up, you've done the work, you're playing all in, you're showing up to the sessions, you're not in your car while we do it, and I see you putting in the sweat equity, I will stay in weekly one-on-one conversations with you for 30 minutes a week, every single week until you hit the bell. So far, I've only had 3 participants that needed that. And within 3 to 4 weeks, they rang the bell. This might happen if you're in a market that has a lower price point. If you're in a market with higher price points, and we get to that point, I'm going to ask you what the hell happened because it should be a little bit easier of a game. Now, one of the questions that shows up quite a bit is agents will come to the table and say, Alicia, my average price point is $250,000. Is this even possible in 12 weeks? To which I say, yeah. It's possible to the extent to which you determine you're going to do it. It's possible to the extent to which you decide how you're going to show up and decide how uncomfortable are you willing to get in the process. I've had agents with average price points as low as $200,000 play this game and win because they decided when they signed up for it, they were all in and they were going to do what it took to get there. Now, that might be getting really uncomfortable with new marketing tactics I ask you to take. If you haven't gone into the social media or the email marketing space, if you haven't gone into having consistent webinars that are talking to the world for you consistently and being leveraged, if you haven't gone into text marketing, I'm going to ask you to do those things right out the gate. We're going to look at your funnels coming into the business, and I'm going to ask you to have 7 to 8 disruptive funnels. I'm going to give you the tools to build it quickly so you don't have to get lost in the sauce, and we're going to make it actionable so that day by day you can digest it. When I've watched agents do this, they hit the goal so fast because we're just missing enough leads. See, what happens is we don't have enough leads coming into the business, and then agents get stuck in this conversation of, well, I guess I have to call my database, which is true. There are 4 cardinal rules to the database, and it's going to be something that we consistently talk about in 7 Figures in 90 days. Those cardinal rules are really simple. I have to build the database right out the gate. So if you don't have one and you go, Alicia, can I take this course if I don't have a database built? I'm going to tell you, yeah. Means that we probably need to get started because we have a start date coming up in September. I'll share with you when that is. So you've got some time. It may mean that you just need to go buy a database or you need to buy a tool like Reonomy that can just turn on a database for you. If you're in the residential land side, you might go get a tool like Prospect Now that can just turn on a database for you, right? Then once I have a database, I have to feed it every single day. Feeding it, if I already own the content, just means I need to talk to it. I need to put in information that I could only get by being in relationship with it that a computer screen could never tell me. Then I need to make sure that I communicate with it daily. And I got to make sure that I have systems so that it talks to my marketing and my marketing talks back to it. And it tells me when I need to be in front of somebody. Those 4 cardinal rules are going to be a piece that I ask you to really own. And when you own that, no matter what your price point is, no matter what your average GCI on a deal is right now, we can get you to the 7 figures in 90 days. You may need to be uncomfortable. It may mean that you look at your market and ask, am I playing small? Am I working on inventory that's smaller or a lower price point than I could be working on because I fed myself some garbage noise in my mindset that I'm not worthy of that bigger deal, or I'm not capable of that bigger deal, or I'm not able to work in that space because I've never done it, or my relationships don't take me there? All of this is just noise. And we're going to reduce the noise right away. Even if you don't sign up for 7 figures in 90 days, I want you to take off of this call right now, today, that you are empowered to work the most kick-ass, badass real estate in your market today. And no one can take that away from you except for you telling yourself that you're not worthy, you're not capable, you're not able. I don't know about you. I've met plenty of real estate agents that work the top stuff, and I meet them and I go, that guy or gal is working that. And yet I meet super talented agents that are working lower end than they could be in their market, in their product type. And I want to empower you to believe you can reach for the highest, the most probable, the most profitable real estate in your market. Might be uncomfortable, but it's a good thing you're tough. You're able to do that. You're able to go after that. And I'm going to empower you to do it. If you're struggling with that thought today, I'm going to tell you right now, that means you should be signing up for 7 figures in 90 days, because you need an emotional kick in the pants to get over it and get on with it, with filling your pipeline with the real estate you could be working on versus the real estate you have been working on. Now, as we get through this program, there will be uncomfortable moments. I maybe have even triggered 1 or 2 on this call already. You may say, damn, her intensity is high. Is she going to swing at me every single day like that? Yes, I am. I won't slow down, but you will speed up, and it's going to be fine, because you're going to walk out of this with 30 minutes of absolute steroid injection into your energy, your business, and your pipeline when you choose to play into this course. You may hear this and say, I'm really nervous about being uncomfortable. That means you need accountability running alongside you to make you be uncomfortable. Most of us, myself included, are not naturally willing to just wake up, put our feet on the earth every day and say, I'm going to go be uncomfortable today. I'm going to do the hard shit just because that sounds great. I don't do it. And I'm going to guess you probably don't either. But what helps me show up and live an exceptional life inside an exceptional business is coaches that hold my feet to the fire. And I know when I show up on my calls with them every week, are going to go, did you do what you said you were going to do? And I know that they hold me to that. In this program, I'll be your advocate for change. I will be your advocate for doing the hard part with more ease. And I'm going to help you grow a life and business altering business with 7 figures in 90 days. Let me give you some details on when we start the program, how to get enrolled, and then I'll open up for questions. The program starts September 5th. That's a Thursday. And you may say, Alicia, how the hell are we going to do 12 weeks starting on a Thursday, you crazy lady? The 5th and the 6th are what I like to call the pregame. This is where agents who sign up early are able to join me for 2 sessions back to back the week before we start the program. It's a gamified approach, and I think every single day, like I am playing Monopoly with my little brother, and I got to kick his butt up and down the board. So the pregame is where we're going to put together your strategy for how you're going to be ready to do that. The pregame is going to be where I tell you exactly how to prepare your database. If you don't have a database, I point you on where to go find one, to just turn one on for a subscription service or to buy one. Because if you don't have numbers to easily reach out to, no one in real estate is going to easily find their path to even more than $200,000 a year. You deserve it. It might mean you have to make an investment there. If you already have a list, or you already have access to lists through tools like RPR or CoStar, through Reonomy, Landgate, there's lots of resources out there that can give you data. Your title rep even might have one for you. I'm going to make sure that you have that set up, because if you're 2 days out, you still have time, but we got to get hustling. Now, you may say right now, Alicia, I already know I'm signing up, and I know I don't have a database. Please give me an answer. The free answer is you're going to go to your title rep who you love and adore and tell them, I'm signing up for a coaching experience where I'm going to go make $1 million of like signed representation agreement happen in 12 weeks. It's going to happen between September, October, November. And my commitment to you, dear title rep, is any deals I pull from that, you're my title agent of choice that will go on all my contracts that I'm going to order prelims from, and we're going to do a lot of business together. Can you help me out? Haven't met a title rep yet that says no. And what they can do is pull a farm for you. By pulling a farm, you might say, I want to work on this neighborhood of homes. I want to focus on Ravensway in Cypress, Texas, and I want to pull all the homes that are there. Can you pull that for me? And they'll say, yes. Do you want mailing labels with that too? And you say, yes, please. Thank you. Because we're going to do some mailers. Then you may be commercial and you say, well, I don't want to do homes. Can I still go to a title rep? Yes, you can. You're just going to go to them with a different ask. If you're commercial, land, or business brokerage, I'll give you a separate approach. With commercial and land, you're literally going to go tell them, I need only commercial zoned properties or ag land, if that's your juicy squeeze. And I want to do them in this zip code, or I only want things that are zoned for industrial. I only want retail. You're going to narrow it down that way. That will give you in either of these cases, and by the way, again, yes to printed mailing labels. That will give you in either of these cases a list of properties and owner information. That owner information, though, doesn't have phone numbers and doesn't have email or other ways to contact the human beings and relate that real estate. So you'll want to go through a free tool like Fast People Search or True People Search to go dig out those phone numbers. If you can get ahead by like 500, you'll be set up for success for 7 and 90, and you got time to go do that. If you need a tool to quickly do that research, shoot me an email. We'll make sure all my contact information is attached with that, and we can get you a tool that's low cost to get you the data you need quickly. Now, you may say, I'm ready to invest long-term in database. That might look like buying a big batch of data. We can help you with that. It could also look like a tool like Reonomy or Prospect Now, where they're going to turn it on and have contact information. Commercial agents all the time ask me, Alicia, can I use my CoStar account? Of course you can. That's going to have contact information for owners, as will Crexi on the commercial side. And in land.com also should have that on the back end for you. So then you have database. That's part of our pregame. Is your database ready? Do you know who you're going to call? And I actually give you the recipe, who you're going to call on day one. Who are we going to reach for? So that you coming into that first call just feeling like you swung for the fences and you're a hyper winner. That pregame, we're going to show you exactly how to do it. The next part we cover in pregame on that Thursday, Friday, September 5th and 6th, I'm going to show you how to set up your calendar so you can actually live this program. You need to get your calendar set up so you're not walking into it and going, I couldn't do my lead generation today, coach, because I had too many meetings, or I had a team meeting I had to go to. I had this thing that I committed to prior. Noise. We're going to get an accountable calendar in action for you, and we can do that in the pregame, and I'll give you the exact conversations you may need to go have with your calendar so that you are in league and in like the zone to go run these days the way you're going to need to. Lastly, on the pregame, I give you what the recipe for successful lead generation looks like. And I'll actually give that to you now because I think every agent should know this. You got to lead generate for 2 hours a day. You got to lead generate until you've had at least 10 conversations, and you got to lead generate every single day until you've set an appointment. Now, those 10 conversations and setting an appointment, they need to be with people you actually want to do business with. If I know that my average price point is at $200K right now, I'm not going to keep calling owners of $200,000 properties. I'm going to level it up. I'm going to go call people that have $750 million properties. If I can have the conversation successfully down here, guess what? The same humans own property up here. Doesn't change that much. They're still emotional beings that need someone to love and support them through a financially large process. Same conversation. We're just going to level it up. And so that's the recipe for lead gen. In the pregame, when you opt in for this program, I'm going to help you get really comfortable with it and feel like, okay, this is something I can totally do. If you have limiting beliefs rolling into the program with you, pregame is where we're going to zap that noise out, totally get them out of the way. So you come in Monday ready to breathe fire and just dominate it and come in with 5 new leads in your pipeline. Not just 1, 5 new leads in your pipeline. And through this marriage of daily bringing in 5 new leads, you're going to start building the pipeline that empowers you to have 7 figures in 90 days. Then we're going to lay on the next, easily asking people to hire you. We're going to have your business ready by week 2 for you twice a day to ask people to hire you. I'll give you the exact sales language for it. And in that marriage of 5 and 2, 5 new leads every day, asking 2 people a day to hire you, many people get to the 7 figures in 90 day around week 8 or 9. And I bet you will too. The process isn't hard. The system isn't some magical fairy being. It's really simple. It's a boring and consistent habit-based solution that when you empower in your business, You, just like me, just like 100 other agents that I've taught this program to, can be empowered to have a 7-figure business any quarter that you want to reach for it. Program starts September 5th and 6th. The 12-week sprint starts the following Monday, September 9th. And then we run for 12 weeks all the way through Thanksgiving. And we probably will have a bonus week that first week of December, just to make sure anyone who got lost in the sauce, the turkey gravy over Thanksgiving week, complete the program that first week of December. You sign up through MAPS. We will actually drop the link here in the chat. And when you sign up for this program, you're signing up for a 3-month commitment. It's $2,500 a month for 3 separate months, and all in a $7,500 investment. You get all 60 coaching sessions that are in a group setting. You get the recording of those sessions. You get your 2 15-minute one-on-ones that you can call and ask for anytime you want throughout the program. You get a guarantee from me that when you play all in, I am on your bench as your coach until you hit the goal, but you got to play all in. You get our full workbook. You get my cliff notes for every book that I reference. You get all of my systems, tools, and models that I actually have used in my own business that I reference in this program. I don't hold it back. I don't ask you to build your own. I just give it to you. You get your lead funnels built in week 1. We are going to walk you through how to easily do that. And lastly, you're going to get a collection of curriculums through this process. We will go through negotiation, sales conversation, sales training itself, and emotional intelligence. You are a fierce warrior by the time you leave this program, and that $7,500 investment has more than 134% ROI. Massive return. When you play all in, I'm on the bench to play all in with you.